believe so, yes, sir. I'd like to welcome everybody here today to an operation that took place here with several agencies involved. I want to thank these agencies, first of all, in Operation CAST, Criminal Auto Sales and Title. This is an ongoing investigation that went on for quite some time, just a little under a year. First of all, I'd like to thank the Inspector General's office. I'd like to thank the DMV. I'd like to thank ICE. I'd like to thank the employees of the Sheriff's Office. I don't know that I've left any out, have I? Okay. The prosecutor, Robin Piper, couldn't have done this without the prosecutor. This is a very, very long investigation that lasted quite some time. If you all remember, I told you there was going to be 3. And this is the third. You may be wondering where the second one is. The second one already happened, but I can't release that information. And there may be a 4th and a 5th. Basically what took place today, we closed 3 car lots down in the city of Hamilton. You have the names. I'm not going to try to pronounce the names. You have the names in front of you of those individuals and what they're charged with. 34 indictments from the grand jury. It's been an ongoing investigation, and what it basically consists of, we had undercover officers and informants go in and purchase vehicles or vehicle. No IDs, basically make a statement that I am here illegal, I have no identification, I want to purchase these vehicles. At which time, the individuals that have been arrested have been charged and indicted by the grand jury helped these individuals with the identification they needed to purchase a vehicle. They took them into another area, got them hooked up to where they could get their little IDs, their little social security numbers, their little driver's license, their little fake 30-day tags. Each of these individual things are charging itself felony charges. Then they would come right over, and then they would get the title, processed, another charge, knowing that these people have illegal documents. Again, what we have is 34 indictments. We have 9 people that we were looking for today. We have 7 in custody. 2 more. We know where their whereabouts are. We have arrested 5 illegals being in the area. It was determined at that point when we went into these 3 car lots that these people were 5 were illegals. We used our 287G officer to make the identification, and at that point, ICE was called to make the arrest. They were actually arrested by ICE, and they are actually in my jail, and they are detained under arrest. They are actually under arrest for being here illegal, and that's ICE that's working on that at this time. I want everybody to realize that this is an ongoing thing that's occurring not only in this county, it's in the state of Ohio. This is probably one of the biggest or only operation that's happened in the state of Ohio. We've been trying to educate and bring people's attention that you cannot come here and not only falsify documents, forge documents, and think it's okay to get a driver's license and drive a car under someone else's social security number, someone else's ID, and think it's okay because you can say, the detractors, that you are from a poor, downtrodden country, and it's okay to come here to this county and drive a car illegally, and you can't even read a stop sign. You've never driven in the United States, and you think it's okay. And if you think that the sheriff will have sympathy for you, you've come to the wrong county. You really have. And I've been saying that all along. You cannot come here and violate the law. And these individuals have violated the law. Not all of them are illegal. We believe that there's maybe a couple that are naturalized citizens. They came here and they're illegal. That'll be determined by ICE, and that'll be at a later date.
Are you referring to the customers, just to be clear, or?
I'm not really. It could be the customers or it could be the owners. But I have not. ICE will make that determination, not the sheriff's office. That doesn't mean that someone can't be deported even though you're here legally and you're a U.S. citizen, you came from another country. You remember the history of the United States, several people get deported that are here legally and they commit crimes, and you can't stay in this country. I want you to also realize, those of you that notarize car titles, and you notarize them knowingly, and you make your little $2 on your little notary stamp, and you knowingly notarize these titles, and you do this illegally, and you know that it's illegal, you too could be charged with a crime. Those of you that take these forms and you have power of attorney, and I think they're charging up to $200 for these power of attorney forms, and you do these forms illegally to help illegals purchase vehicles, you too are committing a crime, and you will be investigated. Those of you that have purchased vehicles, and you knowingly have purchased these vehicles, there's going to be an audit, the way I understand it, from BMV of these 3 car lots. A lot of confiscation went on today. There's an audit of these 3 car lots. It appears that there may be 30 vehicles that have been purchased illegally. And if you've done this knowingly and partake in that, you too can be arrested and your vehicle can be seized. There are other car lots. This isn't the only ones. There's other car lots in other counties. This has been just a little short of a year investigation. Very long, very intensive, still ongoing, very fluid. If you are selling cars to illegals in this county and other counties, BMV is aware of it, the Sheriff's Office is aware of it, Social Security is aware of it. And again, if you have these vehicles, and when we do the audit, when BMV does the audit, you're going to have issues with law enforcement. We're sending a message today. Also, I want people to realize that these people are being taken advantage of. These cars aren't the best looking cars and the best running cars that I've ever seen, even though the Sheriff's Office has purchased a few of these. With our undercover officers, one interesting note, we didn't make the payments like we should. And with that, we received a phone call that I'm going to play a tape for you here in a minute, and I want you to hear the tape. We received a phone call because we were a little late in our payment, at which time this individual identified himself as Deputy Dozier from the Butler County Sheriff's Office. He was calling one of my undercover officers who purchased this vehicle and said, "We have warrants for your arrest. I am a detective from the Butler County Sheriff's Office, Deputy Dozier. You probably need to get up. I might be able to get these warrants removed or released if you can get to the car dealership and make your payments." Just so happened he was talking to the deputy that really, and I'm going to play the tape here for you so you can hear this. I want you to realize again what they were doing. They were using the Sheriff's Office as a scare tactic to get people to make payments on their cars, but they didn't realize they were talking to a deputy sheriff, and they were talking to an undercover, and they were very explicit that you will be arrested, you've not made your payments, I might be able to get these charges removed, but you have to get here and make your payment. And so, yes ma'am.
Did you delay making the payment on purpose?
Yes ma'am, we did. Yes ma'am, we did.
Because you heard this was happening?
We've received calls, letters. We're getting calls today. I drew them in and said to Spider, all right, come on in. And they were drawn in, and it was a very good mix. But this is where these people are ruthless, and this is where they go ahead and they take advantage of people that will never own these vehicles. Never legitimately own these vehicles. And you can't legitimately own these vehicles. One of the persons that was arrested had several IDs, several Social Security numbers that belonged to other people. One of them had been arrested several times. We're going to answer a lot of those questions, but I want to go ahead and play this tape. This is the tape of the guy identifying himself as Deputy Dozier talking to my undercover officer to try to get him to make the payment.